Welcome back, YouTube. So we're going to pick up where we left off last time in Act 10 on the holopalm technique build. And once again, I don't think we really need. Well, I have a belt to put on to keep our resist capped, right? So I can swap belts, and then we'll still be resist capped for maps. So I have no reason necessarily to stop right now or anywhere in the axe. We're just gonna pile on through, enjoy holopalm techniques, destructive capacity to kill our way through all of Act 10. The only place I might die in Act 10, now I'm thinking about it, is probably going to be Katava, unless there's one really heavy chaos damage guy that we run into along the way. We don't need to talk to Ben, we just need to free him, but I'll click on him, pretend like we're talking to him. I believe there's 2 optional skill points. Is it 2 optional? It might only be 1 optional. There's an optional skill point. In Act 10, which is where we'll go first. We'll go do the boss fight, the optional boss fight first. I suppose the optional boss fight might have a decent amount of chaos damage, so we might die in the optional boss fight. I don't think we will, but we might. And the physical damage gets pretty high near the end of the act. So who knows? So not paying enough attention, don't hit that health flask quickly enough, we might die. But I'm not expecting it. I'm just aware that it is a possibility. I came down the wrong side of the cathedral. Good thing the build's fast. That was not where I was going to head first, but it's where I've come across, so we'll go in there. Into the reliquary, because we're here. Really only doing this event because I've stumbled across it by accident. Even then, apparently, I don't have enough damage, really. Interesting. This sometimes happens with League content where it's not necessarily super balanced to the zone you're in. Especially because as you do some of the League content like Betrayal, the League content gets harder. So when you come back on a different character, it's like, well, why is this guy so tanky? The answer is probably got a half a dozen items that are making him tanky. Or at least tanky to physical damage. Mission failed. That was not why we were in here, so it's fine that it failed. Yeah, teardrop is why we were in here. Oh, and we're level 64 in a 67 zone. Yeah, that's probably not helping. Not that, well, yeah, not that the next couple levels would have been much of a damage increase anyway. I was mainly going for tankiness for the next couple levels. So here's the zone I was originally planning on coming to, which is going back into the control blocks to get the skill point I know is here. So the lab that we're going to, I believe, is in the bottom left corner of the map usually. And this fight's not going that bad. Again, we're still sort of in antagonist degree where we can sort of just face tank the enemy boss. I don't think we'll be able to face tank Katava, but so Katava will be an interesting fight. Less of a boring one where I'm just standing next to the guy punching them with Frenzy of Onslaught. But yeah, no problem coming here a little under leveled. We're only 44 in a 46 boss fight. Turquoise Amulet. Probably not gonna have to do a replacement with. Yeah, maybe. Depends upon if I can get the resist someplace else. Which for the moment is probably a no. Quickly portal back to town. Go ahead and pick up our skill point quickly. It's you who gives it to me. There you are. And the tier we give to Wayloff, I think. Or is it Lily? Lily. Okay. We'll grab one of those. It probably won't be what we want. Yeah, no. And from here, we didn't grab the teleport zone in Arvin Square, so I'll take the quick one back via the Reliquary, which is closer to the next place we want to go. I think it's the middle road that I want to go up. We'll have the bridge in theory. Yeah, was the middle one. Exploding corpses. Occasionally, very dangerous. Ossuary, I believe, has a quest for more respec points. also one of the trial locations for the third lab. Much like the previous two labs, I've already done all the trials, so I don't need to come in here for the trial, but I am coming in for the respec points. So let's see if we can find the respec points. There it is. Grab some more life. And yeah, as long as we level up twice per Katava, we should have over 3,000 life, which should probably be enough to do Katava. And as long as I'm careful with where I'm standing, should not die against Katava. This build's got pretty short range, so there's a decent possibility I'm going to die against Katava. Just because of having to be really close to certain targets during the fight. I suppose it would be fitting if the only thing I've died to in Axe is Katava. So I died against the first Katava fight, and I wouldn't be surprised if I die against the second one. Though depending upon what you're doing, the first Katava fight's actually harder than the second one. Because he swings faster and more often. Because it's you versus him and that's it. Whereas in the second one, the game sort of simulates having the two gods back you up. So he's technically got more targets to swing at, so he swings less often at you. Albeit with significantly more damage, but if your method of avoiding dying to him is dodging, it's a little bit easier in the second round. So much like coming in here during Act 5, we're basically running through to go fight the guy who's previously was the avatar of Piety. Except in this version, we're not actually going to have to defeat Piety after we defeat him. Because Piety is on our team. So I think the initial version of him has a little longer of a first. Well, I think it's just one phase. Memory serves. One long phase. And I suppose also you can do basically the optionals that you would have done in Act 5 ahead of his fight, which we've already done. So once we defeat him, we can teleport back to town, use the waypoint back near the ossuary to get real close to where the transition to the next zone is. Just make everything go a little faster. Instead of having to walk back like you would have had to done in Act 5. There's the desecrated chamber, which is where the boss we want to fight is. Apparently this is only a level 65 area, so we're the right level for being here. I think you're technically supposed to run them in the opposite order than I did. I did the highest level zone first. Whoops. Gonna explodey corpse dude. I'm taking a little bit more time to kill things because I do want to level up a few times before we actually reach Katava. I believe Katava is in a 67 zone? 68, 7, well, either 67 or 68 zone. So it probably doesn't matter if I level once or twice before I face him. I would like to level twice. Just to say I'm the right level. The horrors of blind. SRS popcorn builds don't care about it. This build cares about it because I have to actually hit things and not have 100% accuracy. It has really high accuracy because it's a dex build, but doesn't have guaranteed perfect accuracy from the mastery or anything. quickly punching down a rare. Whoops. Interesting. Something in there hit me hard. I was trying to see if I could see it around the what killed me marker. Well, that's the build's second death. So I guess it won't be Katana will be the only thing that won't kill it. My guess is my flasks weren't up. And or just did a bunch of chaos damage, because I think I'm reliant on the flask for chaos resist. And even that isn't going to be a lot. It's going to be decent. Yeah, I'm definitely having a little bit more problems with being stunned. It's one thing, I suppose high dex builds, however, have to worry about that high armor builds don't. Quickly punch this rare down, grab the passive skill, and then go in and fight the boss we need to fight before we can start running towards Katava. So I'm going to achieve the health goals for Katava before we reach Katava. As long as I'm careful, this fight's not that hard. He's mostly physical and chaos damage. And he's not a lot of chaos damage, but he is pretty heavy fizz. So as long as just avoid taking the slams and stuff like that, it's not that bad. which is one reason I'm mainly using Cyclone here instead of Frenzy of Onslaught. Because I don't think I'm tanky enough to just take all his blows on the face. Where a lot of his attacks are fairly decently telegraphed, so if you're just sort of doing circles around him like this, then most of them miss. The laser beams do hurt, so if I had a slightly higher range build, I might try to avoid the laser beams as well. A little bit more aggressively avoid the laser beams. Whoops. Got hit with one of the slams. I'm not sure if it was his slam or one of the big statues. It might have been one of the big statues that actually got me. Probably won't use it. Yeah, nope. Okay, with that, we can teleport back to the Ravaged Square. Go face Kitava. If I died to Kitava, it'll be pretty similar to how I died against Avernius, where I get hit with a slam. Well, probably more likely actually hit with two slams in quick succession or something like that. Build should be tanky enough to take one on the face, but two will probably take the build out. No. No. Okay. And much like the rest of the act, other than the odd, really strong, high damage guy, we're basically just spinning through most of the random ads. Would like to get one, maybe two more levels before Kadava, but it's not the end of the world if I don't. Most likely I'll only get one. If I get any. Really comes down to if I die anymore. If I die, I'll lose 5% XP. Or the XP per death is quite a bit at this point. Just because the XP per kill is sort of starting to fall off at this point in the game. Yeah, he's not going to be worth killing. You gonna be worth killing? I think no. Yeah, he's not going to be worth the time. Not worth the time. Ah, the magic of phasing. Oh, he's going to swing me, so I'll just pass through him to behind him where he's not swinging. The game's like, you want gloves, right? Whereas the whole stick with hollow palm build is you're not allowed to use gloves because it would be OP to combo it with Facebreaker. For some reason I remember there being a waypoint near Katava, but apparently I'm wrong and there is none. Yeah, definitely doesn't look like one. Alright, well we're going to Katava. We're going to Katava level 30, level 66. Whoops. That was a whoops. Yeah, let's try not to sit in the fire. Fire hurts. Okay, first phase down. The heart phase of first phase is done. That's the second phase. So he's gone. Oh no, that's yeah. So that's is the second phase. So he'd been. I think he grabbed hold of one of the gods, and we just knocked the god out of his hand. That's what actually was going on in that phase. Okay, and that's why I go 3,000 hit points for this fight. Just about tanked one of the bigger blows with the face. Was able to get it back by using a health pot. So, into the second heart phase. So one of the things in the heart phase that you've got to sort of balance is doing damage to the heart and clearing the ads. So depending upon which one's more of a threat to use, I have to figure out what you're going to do. The more you kill the heart, the quicker the phase will be over. And the ads, to my understanding, are infinite. On the other hand, the ads, if you aren't actively killing them, can add up to quite a bit of damage inbound. So you do need to sort of balance those two. You can't just let it all be one. Unless you have lots and lots and lots of damage. So right now he's got Piety in his hand. So we just triggered the phase where he lets Piety go. And we're coming up on the last heart phase soon. As we take our damage straight to the heart of the problem. And with that, I have successfully run this build all the way to the end of Act 10, so we'll be in maps. And yes, we are still to maintain resist cap. So if you're watching it on YouTube, much like the last episode, this is roughly where the episode is going to end. I'm going to take a quick short break on Twitch. I'll leave the stream going, but I'll mute and stretch for a bit. And then I'll be back to do Lab 3. So if you're watching on YouTube, the next video will be Lab 3. So catch you next time.